Hey, boys, the old man here. Coming to you today to talk about a subject that I was thinking about, and that subject got kind of spurred on by me doing this new venture, and I'll tell you, we'll fit that all right in right now. So, my question to you is: are you willing to be a fool? And I kind of get it, I think, off the hip. Most people say, I really don't want to. And I get that. And then I also realize that, a lot of the people I'm talking to here have been in and at their job for a while and retired. So you've got guys here, listen, 20, 30, 35, 40 years of service in doing something, right? And in that time, you became a master at it. So when you retire, it's hard to kind of pick up something else because you just kind of forgot what it was like to be that fool. But it really is just fear. It's fear of failure. I understand, and I've got it all the time. But I was thinking of a couple of stories that that I went through in my life that I stepped up and was willing to be the fool, willing to put myself in fool's territory, and continued to put myself in fool's territory. And let me tell you what I mean by that. So, when I was in the fire academy, um, you get out there. We did it in the summer of Florida. That was a bear of a fire academy. But so there was one day we get into our squads and everything, and this was early on in the class, and it was a 11 or 12 week class, 40 hours a week, so it was full time. So we get introduced to fire engine, and the drill for the day was pulling dried hose line. So with us, the our main attack lines for suburban firefighting are 1 3/4 line hoses, diameter hose. I'm sorry, and 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 they're usually stacked in what's called pre-connects in our engines and cross lays and things like that. So, but the whole thing is pulling off a certain it's stacked in those cross lays like a sandwich. All right, so when you go to pull dry lines off of a fire engine, you've actually got to grab up above you, get enough play out there so that cross lay will sit, your shoulder will sit in the middle of that amount of hose that you pulled that you're going to have on your shoulder. Anyhow, that's neither here nor there. So that day, when the instructor's like, "Yeah, man, who wants to go?" And everyone's like, "Little Miss Hands in Pockets, man." And I'm like, "Yeah, that would be me, boss." And he was like, "All right, Sheely, let's go." So first time doing it, I pulled that hose off, and it fell off my shoulder and made the biggest bowl of spaghetti on the ground you've ever seen. And then of course I had to try to straighten it out and then get the coupling and then the nozzle to the door and everything anyhow. But I screwed it up, and I took a ribbon for it and got snickered at, but I think I earned some respect there in that, I'll take the hit for you and you can learn off my mistakes. I think that the instructors are looking for initiative and they're looking for leadership within the squads, and that helped me work towards that. And it was all around, even though it looked bad, it was a good move. Now, within the fire academy, I would do that, but I wasn't that guy that every time someone said, "Okay, we're going to do something," I would do it if it was that awkward silence and you could read the group and say, "Okay, no one's going to volunteer for this. I'll do it. I don't care. I'll look like shit." So that's kind of one where, I was willing to look a fool, and I was a fool. So the next one is when I promoted to lieutenant, at the fire department, and it I ended up moving into our training division for the beginning of being a lieutenant, and and so I ended up being our shift training officer. Um, During that time, I had already been an instructor at the fire academy at that point in time. I had been an adjunct instructor at our fire department for a good amount of time too. But when I took on this lieutenant's role in training, well, now it was all on me. So I think the training chief was being kind to me, but maybe not so kind with the subject. But I think maybe there wasn't as moving parts, but as there. Anyhow, I had to teach hazard placard identifications. At that point in time, we used to call things, I forget which international code we went to, but the things used to be called MSD, material safety data sheets, and they moved to safety data sheets. Anyhow, I had to put together a class, and this would be a departmental class, not just the shift, and of a PowerPoint lecture, materials, some drills, things like that are going to, of course, make the class beneficial, and then update the SOP. So, anyhow, I spent a lot of time working on it, and ended up, first day nervous as hell, but went out there and I had practiced. I didn't just walk out the first day. I'd already taught that class to myself in a room 5 or 6 times. But that's what the feeling, the fear of feeling like a fool did for me. What was nice, that first day, one of the, let's just call him one of the seasoned lieutenants, one of the old guys walked up, and I had no issues with the guy, but he'd been around for a little while. And he said, "You know what? That was a really good class." And he kind of said it, he meant it. And I was like, okay. Looked like that really paid off for me. So, putting myself in fool's way, if you will, but that drive got me out there, and it was excellent. So, the next thing I was really thinking about is really doing this, YouTube channel and the mustache wax and everything. I mean, it's completely reinventing myself, and there's a lot of fear to it. But the fear of looking like a fool and the fear of failure, but I'm so good with it, and I hope that you can find a way to stand up and face your dragon, right? So, because your dragon, what does the dragon guard? Guards a huge hoard of treasure. So if you can defeat your dragon, you have an opportunity to get the gold. So I don't want this all to be about me, but there's actually a story that kind of goes along with it, where I watched fear of failure, looking foolish, take something away from a friend. I mean, a very minor thing, but I think you'll get the gist of it. Like I like to shoot guns and everything. I'm no pro at it. I just enjoy it. And I was a range safety officer for a little bit of time, and so I understand a little bit about going to it. So I get people calling me, or friends calling me, "Hey, let's go shoot." And so I get a friend of mine call me one day, and he's like, "Hey, buddy, can you teach me how to shoot, or at least get the basics?" And I'm good with that. Yeah, I said, "Let's go, man. Whenever you want to go." And he says to me, he goes, "Well, are there going to be people there?" Yeah, it's a public range, buddy. Oh man, he goes, "Well, I don't know if if I can go, because people will know I don't know how to shoot. And I was like, if anybody's been to a range, it's not like that. But anyhow, if you haven't been, I can see where you can understand, you think that. But so I said, well, let me understand this, buddy. So you want to go shoot? He says, yeah. I said, but you are afraid to go shoot because people might see that you don't know what you're doing, even though you don't know what you're doing. And he goes, and he just kind of paused for a little bit. Said, yeah, well, he says, yeah, that's about right. So, okay. So I just said, man, I love you to death, man. When you're ready to really tackle it and overcome your fears, we'll go. But I'm not here to talk you into something. So and then that was it. But I haven't heard from him. But, I think allowing yourself that chance to be foolish, allowing yourself to start something new and breaking down your own walls to do it, I think it's extremely important, especially in this retirement age. You want to reinvent yourself. So, that's wrapping up, boys. So, anyhow, smoking my bent billiard green Rattray pipe. I am smoking again my Saint Espresso warped tobacco ribbon cut. And I've been kind of hemming and hawing doing this for a little bit, so I got about halfway through the pipe. Anyhow, go ahead and like, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, do all that stuff. I appreciate it. Keep me going on this, boys. I love it. Thank you so much. See ya.